Good morning, Universal Spirit Center. Oh, it's so good to see your smiling faces and feel your love and energy in the house. Let's keep that up. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Ha! Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Oh. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, shake your booty. Ha. See the light in everybody you meet. Oh, everybody, shake your booty. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, 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 yeah. Woo, woo. Oh, yes. Keep standing. Let's welcome in our wonderful band. Linda on piano. We have Stephen on bass sitting with us, and Matt on drums. Yeah! Sounds of spirit in the house. Give them some love, y'all. My name is Gino Walker. I am your music production director. Glad to be with you today. And I know everybody's excited about the Super Bowl, or is that just me? Is that just me? I almost wore my Patrick Mahomes jersey. It's in the car, though. So wherever you're excited about, keep that love light shining as we join together and sing our congregational song, God is My Source. Let's lift our voices up. You online, if you want to tweet somebody, X somebody, send some love to somebody, let them know you're here at Universal Spirit Center having a good time, and come on in. Oh. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. A peace is my source. A peace is my power. A peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. A peace gives me everything I need. Joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, 'cause joy gives me everything I need. Love is my source. What? Love is my power. Love gives me everything, everything, everything I need. Oh!
Perfect opening. Love is my source. Whew. All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, community. Good morning, beloveds. Oh, I'm Rev Sarah, and it's always my joy and blessing to be here. So thank you for showing up so I can be here. You're here for me, just so you know. Oh, yeah, so I'm also here because we're giving Rev Kevin some time, and I think to be with his family and to be supported. I think most of you know, and if you don't know, his beloved husband, Tim, passed away unexpectedly last week. And Tim was a beloved member of our community as well. And so we're just holding each other in love, holding Kevin, holding Tim, and the whole experience in just a healing, loving place. And Rev Kevin asked me to share that, just share his gratitude, share his, he feels so loved and supported, and to thank you, to acknowledge that, you are his spiritual community, and you are Tim's community, and that hasn't changed. So just giving you thanks and appreciation from him. So I will be here, and we decided I'm going to speak this week and next week just to have some continuity for the community and just to be a kind of an anchoring presence. And then Rev Kevin will be back. So far, that's the plan, on the 25th, and we happen to have our annual meeting that Sunday, so he'll be back for that. So, so on the 25th, right after our gathering. So, and as we are a community, we do this annually. We meet together and we talk and we share what we're doing for the year. We share with transparency and openness where we are with our finances, with our budget. We invite everyone to participate and to ask questions and to give ideas. We talk about goals. It's a beautiful thing. It's a part of being community. So, so please come and join us. And then the following Saturday, the plan is to have the memorial service, the celebration for life for Tim Hepburn. So that will be that following Saturday, March 2nd at 11. Yes. And it's not here, right? I think this place might be too small for what we think we'll do. So, so stay tuned for the location, and we'll have more information about that. But just put there, yes. I think it's on View Ridge, but actually this morning Kevin said it might change. So just stay tuned. So that was the plan for now, but the time and date is for sure Saturday, March 2nd. Okay, so let's take a breath. So if you are new here today, I did not say hello. Welcome to our community. We are Universal Spirit Center. We are a place that divine love gets to be seen and grown and known in ourselves, and we get to grow it and see it and behold it in each other and in our community, because we believe in the transformative power of that recognition in ourselves, and we believe in the transformation of our world around us through that healing. So welcome. Thank you. And I think we have announcements.
Thank you, Reverend Sarah, and also thank you for your compassion and willingness to provide us with that continuity during this time of transition. Thank you so much. So appreciated. My name is Viraj Ward, and I have both the joy and the pleasure of bringing together opportunities within Universal Spirit Center to be that transformative presence that Reverend Sarah talked about. Our community is called Spirit in Action, and once a month we try to highlight one social justice issue, not just to make us aware, but to allow us to do something to create change. Oh no, I forgot something. Oh well, it's in my bag. This month, one of the things that we have chosen to select as highlighted is the victims of the war in Ukraine. And the Russian invasion of Ukraine has cost over 10,000 lives, and many others have been injured, including 10,000 injured who are now amputees, and the number continues to grow. We are asking Universal Spirit Center to consider donating to a group that I'm very familiar with, because I have a friend that is doing this trip, Hands On Global, which is a medical NGO that will bring medical staff and supplies to Ukraine next month, March 2024. Your donations will be used to purchase special tourniquets, which I was going to show you. It's in my handbag that I got up here without it. Your donations will be used to purchase these special tourniquets called KAT, Combat Application Tourniquets. The cost of the tourniquets is $38, not a whole lot of money. Spirit in Action has a goal of sending 100 of these devices to the medical team for them to bring to Ukraine. What you can do is go to the Universal Center website, and we have a donate. Oh, here it is. This is what it looks like. I have no idea how this works, but here's what it does do. It allows the physicians that are working with trauma victims of warfare to perhaps save a limb so that they're not amputees. There are cheaper models out there. This one I got on Amazon for $10 from China. They don't want those because they don't work. So the medical team has vetted which devices work for them. And so please consider going to the donate button on Universal Spirit Center site and put in a byline message saying Ukraine so that we can collect. You have until February 26th to make your donations so they can make their deadline. Thank you. The other announcements, not a good plan.
Good morning, family. Our Racial Equality Project call to action today is to watch this video. It's really powerful. This is the granddaughter of Martin Luther King and Coretta Scott King. Her name is Yolanda Renee King, and she is a fireball for civil rights. I think she's 12 years old. So it's beautiful, and you also get to learn things about Coretta Scott King that most of us overlook and forget how important she was to the civil rights movement. So go on our webpage, you click on Get Involved, Racial Equality Project, click on that, and then you can click on the link for the video. Also, wonderful, this weekend, Reverend Dr. Tom Owen Towell will be with us in the house to discuss on Awakening Wednesday his time with Dr. King and what the civil rights movement has meant to him. So that'll be here in house. Yes, he will be here in the house at 6:30. And hopefully, if you can, come out and support him and him sharing Dr. Tom sharing his journey and what that has meant to him. All right, thank you.
Good morning. I'm Bob Mosai, and I have the rest of your announcements. You're awake. Heart Songs is coming on February 20th. Join Lauren Grace, where is she? Stand up, there you go. As she leads a self-care meditative experience of movement and singing. It's a fee-based, 6:30 at the offices across the street, and this is offered every third Tuesday of the month. Paperback Ministry is going on today outside. Donate, prepare, and take home a bag or two with essentials to share with those who ask for assistance on the street. Or donate the bags, leave them here, we'll fill them for you, and then we'll make sure those in need get those bags. Meditation class with Deva Lipson Newman. Deva, I know you're here. She's offering a meditative class workshop for an hour on Monday, February 19th at 1 o'clock across the street at the offices. If you're interested, see Deva afterwards, or go online or go up to the Yes table and sign up. And finally, third Saturday with Angels with Margot Laura. I know Margot's here. Saturday, February 17th, 1 o'clock till 3 at the offices across the street. Oh, it says at the office. I'm reading. So it's at that's her house. So at Margot's office at her house. From 1 to 3, right? Okay. Thank you. So speaking of calendars, what does a calendar have in common, or doesn't have in common with me? They have dates.
We will say Not yet. So can we hold for the possibility of dates, right? Okay, so thank you for your time and attention for those announcements. And now is our time for our greeting each other in community. So we're first going to greet all of our love streamers, those who are love streaming online. So let's stand up and wave and welcome those who are streaming with us in person now and in the future. And then let's greet each other briefly.
Good morning, everyone. Let's start finding our way back to a chair. Doesn't mean it has to be yours. I didn't know this was going to be that hard. My name is Christine Thompson, and it's hard to be here this morning. Not in the sense that it's hard to be here this morning, but it's just really raw. So, for those of you who are feeling that too, it's okay. I led the meditation this morning, and it's in the back room, and it's a little dance studio, and there is a play little bullseye, and it's to throw these little axes at the bullseye, and on top of it this morning was this little heart that said love. And I just thought, how appropriate today for that, because our bullseye this morning is quite axy, isn't it? So let's just breathe into that, and our sniffles and our tears, and maybe get comfortable in your chair or not. And we're going to read together this morning, but I'm the one that's going to actually read it. You're just going to follow along. And then we're going to get quiet, and Linda's going to play the piano, and then I'm going to pray. And we're going to just see what happens. So here goes. So Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind and Spirit, says this: God's love always embraces us. Its wisdom is always within us, and its joy
is ours to share. Just as surely as tomorrow shall come, and the sun shall rise again across the darkness of the horizon and spill its beauty and warmth to awaken the valleys into fertility, so shall this be a new day in each of our lives, bringing us into a greater joy of living because of a greater consciousness of the Almighty within our own souls. God's love is forever embracing us, especially in the tears and the snots and the cries. especially here this day, in the challenge and in the hard. And I know that all of us can do the hard things because we are here together as Universal Spirit Center, where love is always the answer, where love is the how and the what and the why. It is how each of us is living our lives. And so I know, because God's love continues to embrace us, that today and all of our days, which is ever infinite, that we are this united love expression, this united field of all of eternity, of all of the everything. That even in the tears and in the hard, that our hearts are so soft and so tender. And we have this amazing capacity to keep loving, to keep seeing life from this viewpoint of divinity and God and from love. And so I know that this experience that we are having this morning is an example of that love. That what we do here is God. That each of us is the divine. That each of us is this almighty divine temple. That we are this exquisite, divine, so juicy and delicious experience. And so, thank you for all of the hands and the hearts that came together today and during this week to make our time this morning a little bit easier. So for Reverend Sarah and Gino and the band, and for each of us this morning, knowing that with these tender hearts, that we're okay and that we're good. And so we just keep Reverend Kevin and Tim right here with us, knowing in gratitude that God has embraced it all. And so let's surrender here in this place of love and divine and spirit and the juiciness of all of that, as together we say, and so it is.
Seems you've been walking in a land unknown. Go to God in a place beyond your fears. God is loving you. Be still. Accept this prayer of love in your heart. When your shoulders have on more than you can stand, and it seems you've been walking in a land unknown. Go to God in a place beyond your fears. God is loving Accept this prayer of love in your heart. Stand on the rock of those who've gone before you, of those who hold you high in glory, and those who hold you close in prayer. Stand on the truth. God is the power. God is the way. God is the answer. Accept what has been given. It's the reason why we pray. And the things that held us back will disappear. And the veil of tears won't be heavy anymore. Yes, a life so torn apart can heal again. Trust in God, I know you will. Accept this prayer of love in your heart. Stand on the rock of those who've gone before you, of those who hold you high in glory, of those who hold you close in prayer. Stand on the truth. God is the power. God is the answer. God is the way. Accept what has been given. It's the reason why we pray. And the things that held us back will disappear. And the veil of tears won't be heavy anymore. Yes, a life so torn apart can heal again. Trust in God. I know you will. Accept this prayer. In your heart, accept this prayer of love in your heart.
Thank you, Gino. Thank you. That's beautiful. I'm just going to get myself started here. Yay. Oh, so good morning again. It's good to be here. And it's good just to be in community, especially when things can be sad and really hard. And it's nice that we get to be in that together and to remind each other that there's a place that's in a space of love that's more than any one individual experience. And when we come together, we get to anchor in that experience, that collective experience. So thank you for being here. So as we continue to show up for each other, I was thinking, like, this topic today that Kevin had already picked was that you are so loved. And I thought, that's actually perfect. Because I know when I'm feeling at a loss, or I'm feeling sad, or just reeling from the human life experience, if I'm feeling in a dark place, or fearful, love really is the one antidote that can pierce that can move through all of that experience. And if I can find a way to anchor in that and remember that, that really does help me move through. So I thought, how perfect for us to remind each other of that today and to anchor in an experience of love. So we'll talk about love today in ourselves and how we can really have it be a felt experience with us. And then next week we'll talk about how we can have that move through us and an experience with each other and the world around us. So, in Science of Mind, we can be a very heady philosophy. We follow a perennial tradition. We believe in a non-dual experience of life, a non-dual reality, and a tradition of non-dualism that goes back millennium. And so we know that there's only one thing happening all the time, and that thing is love, that there is only consciousness, and that consciousness is before all form, and it is this impulse that wants to know itself and create and experience itself in the individual and the personal, and that it comes from, it's an impulse of love, and that this love wants to pour itself in, it's knowing itself, and it's experiencing itself through all things. And so that is good to know, and that is probably that is the most true thing I know about the world, and the most powerful thing I know. And it's hard to know that sometimes. It's hard for that to come down into like this particular Sarah suchness, which it might be hard for you to know in those moments too. So how do I make sense of something that's like expansive and broad and theoretical and bring it into the experienced here and now? And I think it's asking and being open to that. And I, this morning actually, I was listening to a teacher that I like on the Insight meditation app, the Insight Timer meditation app. Her name's Sarah Blondin. And she had these questions that really brought it home to me. And she said, I love the way she asks. She said, who dreamed me here? Who gave me this? What grace has blessed me with this moment and the next? Who took the small heart in me and squeezed it so hard it beats? Who took these veins and pushed blood through them? Who asked me to wake in this dream in the quiet of a starless night? Who took my birth and sent out a wish printed on my fingers? Who kissed my brow, into my brow a name? Who can I thank for all of this? And to me, that really anchored in like, okay, there is that feels intimate and personal and something that wants to know itself in this moment. Even if I'm being born into this starless night, even if we're being born into this human experience that can be limited and painful, to think that there is like this loving presence that has always been. I think about that, and I've had that experience in some of my darkest moments. I've had a moment, like an awakening or something that comes to me that says, like, I had you before you were even born, and I've had you this entire time, whatever this life is, and I will continue to have you. And so that brings me comfort, when I think about times of death and loss, like, even for Tim, this infinite loving presence had him. And it had him his entire life and all the different ways he got to be and live and express. And it continues to have him in his consciousness of his Timness. So I think that's the most true thing I can know. And that, can tap into that experience of that there is something individual that's wanting to know itself, particularly this universal that can only know itself right where I am and right where you are and right where you are and you are. Ernest Holmes says there's only one ultimate impulsion in the universe, and that impulsion is love. Like, what else could be an impulse to create and express but come from love? So of course you are so loved. Of course we are so loved. And it's funny that science actually points to this as well. I was at a conference this week. My other gig besides this is in education, I think many of you know. So we were at a conference and talking about how students have to have, like in their brain, and actually all of our brains, we have to have a sense of connection and love and belonging and trust in order to even access learning. Like the lower parts of our brain, the fight, flight, lizard part, like it's the mammalian part and the primate, the frontal cortex that actually does the learning. But if you don't feel love, like you can't even get there. You're still in the downstairs part, you know? So like, how interesting that that's how we are wired. Like we were wired to have a strong need to be together, to be in relationship, to feel connected. And when we act in these pro-social ways of turning towards each other and showing love, we get rewarded with these feel-good hormones of dopamine and oxytocin and serotonin. And that allows us to focus and be motivated and act and be in the world. So it's interesting that we were wired for that feeling love and belonging is actually essential to being in our human experience. And so it's interesting that, we know that spiritually, and actually that's true, neurologically, and what we know in science. Another teacher I follow, Tara Brach, she says, it's not the survival of the fittest, it's the survival of the nurtured. And I think, yeah, we survive through feeling love and feeling nurtured. And so the question though is, how do we feel that? And how do we connect the idea that there's this infinite loving presence that's everywhere all the time, that's always accessible? How do we connect that in a real tangible way right where we are? How do we have this sense of God in our particular, that loving presence right in our particular skin? And I think the first thing is it's really important for us to recognize when we're not. I think that we came from this loving presence, but we were born into a finite body and a finite mind. It has its limitations, and we were born into a family with other finite bodies and other finite minds, and some of us may have been born into more, moderately or significantly dysfunctional family bodies of limited minds than others. I don't know, has anyone had maybe a moderate or a significantly dysfunctional collection of finite bodies that you were born into? So I think that happens, and we forget, and it's hard to feel that. And then we learn, and we model, we see, we get messages that tell us that we're not loved and that we're not lovable, and that we kind of cultivate these habits of separating ourselves. Even for myself, and I don't say that like that. I just, I happen to have had the privilege of born into a family that had, more than average emotional connection. My mom's a minister, and my dad's guru in his own way. But good. He has a lot of wisdom too. But I still grew up with messages for me that I took on. There's a long line of women who are, overachievers and people pleasers, and that's a really bad combination for wanting to feel loved unconditionally, because everything has its condition. You have to earn it. You have to work hard. You have to give more than your share. God forbid you ask for something or need something from someone. You certainly can't show up as needy. So those are the messages that I internalize and that keep me from feeling loved and lovable. And I don't know, did anybody else have some messages that you may have grown up with that made you feel separate and unlovable? Yeah, so I think it's important for us to first, on a spiritual path to wanting to connect and feel that love, we have to recognize when those messages are in operation. And that takes some time and takes some practice of just noticing when that pattern is coming up, or when that habit of withdrawal or feeling like you don't deserve it or you're unworthy, like just noticing it and having some space for that, being compassionate with yourself when that does come up. And then having some space for you just to be human. One of the things that was talking about, this speaker at this conference was talking about with like our human brains are working and how our brains need to feel loved. He also said that when we're triggered or we're in a kind of a trauma response, it takes 16 minutes for our brain to calm down so we can get from the downstairs, consciousness to the upstairs consciousness. So sometimes we just need to recognize what it is and give ourselves space for that, and then have time. Then once we've had some space, we can move up to the upstairs consciousness, that upstairs part of our brain that can find and feel connected and seek a connection with love and with our higher power, or whatever we want to call that, God or spirit or whatever. So I think it's good to recognize that. So, and then to connect with that and to give ourselves some space. So I had an experience this week where I found myself in a fight, flight, or freeze. It was Monday, which it was tough. That was the day I found out about Tim. And I was working from home, and I drove to the Target, not this one, by the way, one in Claremont. But anyway, I pulled in. I'm going to go get something, and I happened to have just inadvertently pulled into the parking lot, and I'm not kidding. There was this swarm of police cars that came up to my left, and there was a standoff, and there was a guy with a gun, and there was 8 or 10 cars surrounding that guy with a gun, and they had their guns drawn. And my first thought was not spiritual, can I tell you? I was in a fight, flight, or freeze. There was another F word floating around there too. And then I had the privilege to then, reach out, text my friend who has an exquisite sense of a finely used and expressed F-bomb, Christine. And I said, what the ever-loving F is happening right now? I am so done with life. This human stuff really sucks right now. And so I just got to be in that present, just be in the moment of that, and to go into the store, because that was actually safer and closer than going back through that mess right there. So I was in the store and got my stuff, and it was probably 16 minutes, honestly. And when I came out, the situation had de-escalated. I thank God for San Diego PD and whatever trauma response training they have, because the whole thing was de-escalated. Nobody was hurt. All the guns were put away. The person was being taken care of, and they were able to move about their day. But it reminded me to think okay, I needed to acknowledge that's what it was right then. So when we're having our human moments and we're feeling really impacted, whether it's with a significant loss or a moment of fear or anger or separation, you literally cannot access that part of your brain that can access the spiritual truth at that moment. You just have to be present and give yourself space for the fight, flight, or freeze that you're in, and acknowledge it's really hard right then. And give yourself some time. It may be 16 minutes or it may be longer, but giving yourself some space to move through that, then we can find a way to connect to love. Then we can find a way to consider or have some access to that part of our brain that can open up to a greater idea, a greater solution, or a greater connection with something more than ourselves, and maybe remember some spiritual truths, or maybe touch into the idea that we are loved and it's okay. So the next thing I want to do is invite us into a process, because I've also been practicing this process lately. I heard from Liz Gilbert, and she's a speaker and a writer. She wrote Eat, Pray, Love decades ago now. But this practice that she started, it was in the midst of a terrible experience for her, and that it kind of birthed the whole Eat, Pray, Love experience for her. But she was in this moment of anguish and pain and loss and darkness, and something invited her to just ask what it wanted her to know in that moment. And then she just started writing that. She just started journaling and having this dialogue with this something that was more than that moment, that something that knew, and eventually that thing became, she called it love. And so she began this practice of asking love, what would you know? What do you want me to know today? What would you have me know? And maybe she would ask love, what would you have me know about this particular situation? So now she has a project called Letters from Love, where she has people do this practice and share what love is telling them. And I think for me, when I ask that, it makes it personal for me. It takes it from this infinite, theoretical idea that there's love everywhere. It brings it right down into my heart. And I think about this experience, in Science of Mind, there is, sometimes we can be very sciencey, we can think about God in the third person, it is, because we don't want to acknowledge any separation, and that's why we speak in that way. But we could also, if it's this oneness, it could also be the first person, it's I, or it could be the second person, it's you. And so I don't think it is a sense of separation. If I'm asking love, what does love want me to know today? Because that love is the infinite speaking through me in the only way it can, and it's speaking through you the only way it can, in whatever voice you hear it. So when she speaks and asks for love, what does it want her to know in that moment? Here are some of the things that it tells her. It says, I'm right here. It says, you can't lose me. You haven't done anything wrong. You don't need to do anything. It's okay if you can't do anything. Love also says, I don't need anything from you. And she says, I don't believe in you. And it says, I have no problem with that. I have no requirement for you to believe in me. I don't need you to believe in me to love you. And I think, yeah, what a wonderful place to be. It reminds me, there's a principal who has a sign in his office that says, I love you and there's nothing you can do about it. You know? So how would that be like, just to be loved? And to know that there's this idea that wants to love you regardless of what you do or how you say. And what we know that there is this like infinite loving intelligence, and it's coming through you in a particular way. So it's actually a voice that comes through you in the way that you can hear and the way that you can see and what makes sense to you. So she goes on to say that, how do we know it's us speaking to, it's God speaking to us? And she says, God speaks to you, speaking to you sounds like you. And that's the only trustworthy voice. Anything that doesn't sound like you isn't yours. That's how you know it isn't yours. God's voice is your voice, but just a little wiser, a little bit kinder, a little bit more generous, and a lot calmer. No one should ever surrender to a God that's forced upon them. You should give your life to something that wells up organically from within you, that knows you intimately. And so I think, yes, I think that's true. I think that there is that presence, that infinite loving presence that actually knows you particularly intimately and wants to be where you are. Another spiritual writer and speaker I listened to, Nadia Bolz-Weber, was with a friend, and that friend asked her, what does God's presence feel like? And that friend said, to be with God is to feel the feeling of relaxing completely in the presence of someone who is incredibly fond of you. So I think that's what I want to invite us to do. We'll do a little practice for that now together. That feels healing and as a balm to me when I'm feeling in the midst of, I'm feeling lost or in a dark place. To go into a space of quiet and ask, love, what do you want me to know today? Invites that presence to be particular and individual right where I am, in only the way I can hear it. I imagine that for some people it might feel, that voice might come through with affection. I think for Liz Gilbert, it usually uses words like honey and baby and sugar, and other people might have a more practical, mindset, and that voice comes through with a very matter of fact, no nonsense, or maybe that comes through with humor. So however it comes through is how it comes through for you, and that's how you know it's yours. So I'm going to invite us to close our eyes, and we're going to go through a process. I'm going to read the words that love shows up as her, just to kind of help get us started. And then I'm going to invite you to ask love, what does love in your particular voice want you to know in this moment? So let's just breathe in, feel the quiet. Open up our awareness to that love, that God essence, that infinite loving consciousness that wants to know itself particularly and individually right where we are. And call forth that sense of being loved and knowing, what does love want you to know right here and now? Perhaps love is telling you, it's right here. I am right here. You can't lose me. You haven't done anything wrong. You don't need to do anything. It's okay. And now continuing in that voice, in that space of feeling loved. What does love want you to know, particularly, specifically, individually, right where you are? Just open up and ask in your own mind, in your own heart. Allow love to speak its words for you. Feel that kindest, most wise presence that is allowing you to feel completely relaxed because it's so incredibly fond of you. And so allow yourself just to be fed in that space and that energy of feeling loved. And let it let you know something. Let it let you know a truth that is more true than anything else. That will still be true as you move through whatever the human experience brings to you, whatever may be hard or tragic or scary. What is that truth it wants you to know? And so, let's take another breath of that. Feel saturated in that loving presence. Tell it thank you. Feel some gratitude for that, for however it showed up for you. And with another breath, you can come back to the room and come back to our space together in community. We're a little bit short on time, but does anyone want to share a particular word or sense that love wanted you to know?
I just want to say thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Okay, well, let's take another breath. We do that a lot around here. Let's just hold that space of love for ourselves and each other as we continue on our day and into our experience of life the rest of this week. Let's just say a collective yes, yes, thank you. You are so loved. I am so loved. We are so loved. And so it is.
I am in the darkness. I am in the light. Oh, see me if you can. Everywhere I am. I am in the darkness. I am in the light. Oh, see me if you can. Everywhere I am dwelling in the sunshine, dwelling in the shadows, oh, dwelling in believers, yeah, and in folks who don't know. I am all appearing. I am all invisible. Oh, I am in the high. Oh, yeah. And I am in the very low. I tell you that I am all appearing. Glory, God, invisible glory, God, invisible glory in the highest glory, glory down below. Glory, God, invisible glory, God, invisible glory in the highest glory, glory down below. Let me hear you go.
Good morning. Thank you. My name's Carolyn. Wow, powerhouse of women today. I'm honored to be up here. And Love is telling me you are a powerhouse too. Anyway, sorry. I'm here to talk about conscious giving. February is our pledge month, and all of you have a pledge card in front of your seat pocket with a beautiful little image of all of us. But this is a time where we make our annual commitment as to what we're going to give to Universal Spirit Center, and it's so that there can be a budget and we can be in financial integrity. And you know, you've got to know what you're making before you know what you can spend. So this is an important month for all of us to just make that commitment. You know, maybe you've already been giving. Make that commitment to do that on a regular basis. If you haven't been giving, think about what can you give. You know, I typically every year try hard, and I've had some job changes where I haven't been able to do this, so it's, you know, it's a goal. But every year I try to give 10% more than I've been giving the last year. So, you know, if you're giving $20, that would mean give $22. So 10% sounds like a big number, but, you know, on what we're giving weekly, it's not huge. But, you know, find what feels right for you and fill out that pledge card. You can take it home with you and fill it out at home. Really sit with it, what feels right. And then, like Sarah said, Reverend Sarah said, we will have an altar call on February 25th. Hopefully, Reverend Kevin will be here so that we can do that with him. But this is an important month. So I wanted to tell you why I give to Universal Spirit Center, and I was thinking about this last night. I ended up typing up 3 pages, which made Lorraine go, what? I'm not going to read them. They're just my notes. But I was trying to think, I've always, I was going back, when did I get involved in social justice and racial equality? Well, I didn't know those words. I didn't know those terms. But I remember I was probably 3rd grade. And I'm going to say her name because I am positive she's not watching this, and I don't even know where she lives. But Deleith Harper. Deleith Harper was at our school, and her parents were Southern Baptists, and they'd moved. Her dad was in the military, and they moved in our area just for about a year. And Deleith would come to school, and she wasn't like any of the other Southern California kids. She was like a Mississippi girl, which is where my mom was from. And her clothes were always, they were torn. Her clothes didn't look nice, and she got teased. And I remember taking her home, and my mom, she put on some of my clothes, and my mom sewed her clothes. Because I just knew, as a little kid, a 3rd grader, that wasn't right, that she got teased for the clothes she wore. The year prior, I was thinking last night, I brought home this guy. His name was Dennis. I don't remember the last name. But he was temporarily living with his grandparents. I think back there must have been some big family situation. He'd always wear overalls. And again, he did not fit with the Southern California kids. And I noticed, besides getting teased, Dennis had horrible teeth. The kids that don't brush their teeth? And they were bad. And I brought him home. Again, this is a theme. I brought him home. I married one of those. I brought him... But I brought him home, and I taught him how to brush his teeth, and he let me. And he actually came back years later. I was in college, and he found my house. My parents still lived there, and we talked. But I've always been involved in this. So for me to do paper bag ministry is just natural. Those are the people that it's not fair that they live that way, and there's not a lot I can do. I can teach them to brush their teeth or sew their clothes. I can't fix their life. But paper bag ministry I do because for one person, for one meal, they're not hungry. And that's why I do paper bag ministry. I didn't know when I started it that my son would end up being homeless for 5 years, lived in the Mission Valley Riverbed. But I know I'm feeding someone's son or daughter when I give that bag out, and it means a lot to me. I am. It's somebody's son or daughter. So that's why I do that. And the church allows me that. I never had that opportunity, but I get that here. The other thing I get is, when George Floyd was murdered back in May 2000, I was angry. But I'd already been angry many times. I'd been angry with Eric Gardner and I Can't Breathe, and Tamir Rice, only 12 years old. Just 2 months before George Floyd, there was Breonna Taylor. And so I had this anger, but what can I do with it? And that's when, as a community, we came together when we created Racial Equality Project. And I was on that for the first few years. And it gave me a way to do action. And the action we give is we bring awareness. Just about every week we give some moment in history that we're not proud of, but we're bringing awareness so that it's on that top of mind, because you need to be aware before you can change. And so that's why I'm here. That's why I keep coming back to this community. It's why I give, because there's parts of me that I need to express, and this is the platform I get to do it. And fortunately, I'm with a lot of people. I see heads nodding. I'm with a lot of people that do it too. So this is a beautiful place. You can't get rid of me. And I just love this place. So I found this little quote last night. Page turner. So as we get ready to pass the donation baskets, know that besides your donation, you can also put your pledge card in there if you're not going to be here February 25th. But I looked up the spiritual law of giving and receiving, and it states that giving and receiving represents the flow of life. If you want love, you learn to love. If you want to be blessed with good things in life, learn to silently bless those that have good things. The more we give, the more we receive. In our willingness to give that which we seek, we will keep the abundance of the universe circulating in our lives. And so it is.
Thank you, Carolyn. And for you at home, I thank you for all of the Venmos, for every time hitting our QR code. We appreciate you. We can't do this thing without you. My God is awesome. Spirit moves mountains, protects me in the valley, covers me in the rain. My God is awesome. Heals me when I'm sad, strength when I am lost, and guides me on my way. 'Cause my God is awesome. Spirit moves mountains, protects me in the valley, and covers me from the rain. My God is awesome. Heals me when I'm sad, strength when I am lost, and guides me on my way. 'Cause my God is awesome. 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 Is awesome. 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 My God is awesome. Spirit moves mountains, protects me in the valley, covers me in the rain. My God is awesome. Heals me when I'm sad, and strength when I get lost, and guides me on my way. 'Cause my God is awesome. Sing it out, y'all. Awesome. 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 My God is awesome. Awesome. Yeah, awesome. Awesome. My God is awesome.
Thank you, Gino. All right, so if you're not standing, we'll ask you to join us and stand. Let's just know that this experience today is anchoring in the awareness of love, that love is always present, that love goes with us, it speaks to us in the way that we can hear, it moves through us and guides us on our way. And I am so grateful to anchor in that experience of love right here and now. I say yes, and so it is.
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Peace. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Universal Spirit Center. Go out there and have a great day today. And when people see that light of yours that is shining, and they say, ooh, I want to do that, tell them, where can they go to shine their light?